Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I knew that was going to happen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome to episode 8 of the God Wars, the calm before the storm. Sorry this one's a day late, but we had a few issues with the little guy being sick and some other little delays, but it's all good. I hope you guys are enjoying the report. For those of you who are actually in the God Wars game, the report, the link to it is also in Discord, so you can always go back and read it and have a steady running track of what's going on. It's now up to 26 pages, but every week is separated with the timestamp, etc. And after today, we will be starting the third month. So those of you interested in getting the God point for one of your stats, it takes one action, but you can start that new cycle as well as all the other things that are going on. And if you have any questions, let me know. For those of you who are lagging, I really hope you can get with the schedule. I need your actions by Friday, even though it's Tuesday night. Some of you won't even get this till Wednesday. It still should be more than enough time to get your 5 actions in by Friday so that I can have the report ready on Monday like originally planned. But let's get into what's going on in the world of Myar this week. Again, the calm before the storm. Lord Xantar unveiled his grand palace Crescentia on the silver moon of Myar and proclaimed through the use of a mighty new spell that informed everyone, including all of his sibling gods, to hear, "This is my domain, trespass at your own peril," while also building another castle in preparation for the undead invasion near his southern city of Artensia. Lady Teriel, the goddess of life, continues to raise mountains and forests, solidifying her borders as she erects yet another city and castle and temples within her realm. Her eagle riders can now be seen over many of her neighbors' lands. Patrolling or preparing for expansion are just 2 of her possible motives this lunar cycle. A grand temple the likes of which and its beauty have never before been seen on the face of Myar, was raised above the sparkling blue waves of Tamia's oceanic realm, followed by a beautiful new city and a strategically placed castle made their first appearance this lunar cycle. Lord Aradran and his dark elven people have remained unseen or underground for yet another lunar cycle. Even their singing and war chants were silent this cycle, leaving many to speculate as to their doings deep within their mountain empire. Crimson smoke and the sounds of primordial beasts rose high into the air above the realm of Dracor, god of wisdom, as his winged beast circled his realm, ridden by his most devout followers. A grand temple rose from the sinking plain this cycle, accompanied by the voices of an unearthly choir led by Uxmal's most trusted minions. In the frozen swamps of the southern Arctic region, Lord Zelex raised another small keep, while his people's chanting could be heard far and wide across the icy wastelands. A veritable maze of deadly reefs and new risen mountains now surround the realm of Tempestus, the deep devourer, patrolled by an army of monstrous behemoths that are both his realm's defenders and their master's most loyal worshippers. The Wind's Edge seem more than content this lunar cycle to enjoy the coming of springtime and to soar among the clouds surrounding their mountain empire. Another war fleet left the shores of the Harvester's lands, filled with an army of undead horrors led by an undead lord long dead for over 1,000 years. This fleet appears headed for the island kingdom of Xantar and his high elven people. Lady Izza, goddess of the soul, has also sent a war fleet north, accompanied by the animated remains of the previous epoch's mightiest of leviathans. This fleet seems to be on a different course than its sister fleet and sails east instead of north. Stundar, lord of the evil giants, and his minions appear to be stirring from their winter slumber, as many of his minions have been seen traveling both east and west of their icy homeland. Lord Brutus raised a castle, city, and temple this lunar cycle, while his forge billows smoke high into the mountain air as his people carved out more of the surrounding lands for his ever-expanding nation. The forges of Ratham Rex, hobgoblin lord of war and dark magic, continue to belch foul-smelling smoke high into the air of the southern hemisphere, to the tune of mighty hammers and anvils and something much larger ringing across the countryside. Teng Fei and his hobgoblin followers have erected another keep, temple, and a new city in their mountainous stronghold this cycle, as the magical energies continue to build, far surpassing any known terrestrial phenomenon. Castle Arkop now stands in direct opposition to the Wehrmacht's Grand Palace in the southernmost region of Ilstrandia's island nation, while her armies can be seen marching both to the north and to Arkop Palace, accompanied by aerial support from von Stark's vampiric bats and an army of vampiric footmen in both directions. Once again, the mysterious siren of the abyss is strangely silent this lunar cycle, as none seem to be able to penetrate the depths of her realm nor her intentions. Arcanon's fleet was met by the people of Timo on their southern shores amidst the humming of a million tiny wings and the music of the eastern Mothmen. Will his people celebrate the meeting of Arcanon's refugees? Little else seems to be worth noting amongst Lord Timo's people and realm. Lord Vermark's minions seem to be moving back and forth in great numbers from their mainland and the shores of Ilstrandia's island nation, as a great black storm clouds can be seen forming around the great grand palace of both these two nations. All is quiet in the icy north of Lord Mortis' realm, as the god of death and assassins seems to be absent or busy, possibly underground this lunar cycle. Lord Athanatos launched his second great war fleet this cycle, although both fleets remain harbored and have yet to set sail from his realm. Averon the Balanced summoned several new mountains just off the shores of the island nation of Ilstrandia, the Secret Stealer. What her reaction to this incursion might be is as of yet unknown, but with the sudden influx of vampires from von Stark's realm, it does not bode well for any warm-blooded creatures in the immediate area. Lord Eshman finalized the construction of his newest grand temple to the joyous throngs of his eternally grateful citizens in the land of prosperity. Lord Tembra and his minions have been quietly marshalling their forces for the impending Eskatsi and possible vampiric invasions foreseen by their prophets, and warned their brethren to make ready, for the storm is about to break. Meanwhile, the Lord of the Whispering Winds launched his second war fleet, while his Pegasi Air Force can be seen moving back and forth from his two grand castles. Excuse the dog, folks. Lord Kurza has expanded his empire deep into the island chain north and south of his capital. A castle, temple, and newly erected city now occupy 3 more islands of this ever-expanding archipelago. Once again, Lord Gromdar's people remain silent this lunar cycle, save for the occasional rattling of sabers and the hammering of anvils deep within his subterranean empire. The halflings of Lord Hillfeather can be seen scouring their lands this cycle. However, what it is they seek is anyone guess. As his grand palace and temple near completion, his armies and multitudes continue to expand their borders this cycle. Marsala the Giant and Master of Obsession continues to marshal his people this cycle, as his grand castle and city of Skullport bustle with activity. The Lupines of the south are also rife with activity, as they build a new castle, city, and temple in preparation for the war with Lady Izza's soulless minions as the last winter storm abates. The war fleets of Lord Az have taken the island chain south of Lord Mortis' realm and north of Lord Hillfeather's halfling nation, erecting a city and castle upon these uncontested islands. Meanwhile, his remaining fleets near von Stark's realm and his own other fleets quickly approach the island nation of Ilstrandia. The Ratkin of the Pipers seem to be quite content in their burrows this cycle, as naught has been seen or heard from them this cycle. Von Stark continues to send his forces into the lair of Ilstrandia this cycle, seemingly unaware or unconcerned with the Azcatsy fleets nearing the shores of his island sanctuary. And there you have it for this week on Myar. Excuse me. A lot of movement going on, and a lot of preparations for war. Where the first shots will be fired is anyone's guess. I wish you all the best. Have a great week. If you have any comments or questions, you can either put them down in the comment section, or you can hit me up on Discord. It's going to be an interesting month starting this Friday. I look forward to documenting it and relaying it back to you folks out there in TV land. But until then, I will see you guys tomorrow, where I should be doing a review of another vampiric black and white comic. I'm sure you guys can all guess what that's going to be. One of my all-time favorites. Just not what I was hoping for. But we'll see that tomorrow. You guys out there, have a great evening. Love you all, and I will see you real soon. And as always, happy trails.